Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the top teams for the Evolution Cup in Pokemon Go. We're going to take a look real quick at the meta, and allowed are only Pokemon that evolved already, but also still can evolve. For example, the Vigoroth can still evolve into a Slacking, but also is already evolved from the Slakoth. So here we're going to see the top Pokemon for this meta. Vigoroth going to be basically on every team. There is not really a hard answer for Vigoroth in general. If you're going to take a look at this, Machoke seems to be the best one, but again, Counter going to be neutral, Body Slam going to be neutral. Machoke doesn't learn Counter itself, so it cannot farm you really down there. So it's going to be still a kind of tough matchup. Otherwise, Golbat is still going to get hit by Body Slam. Body Slam going to be able to knock out a Shadow Golbat as well. So it's not going to be the prettiest matchup for most Pokemon against this one. So expect to see Vigoroth basically every single game. Otherwise, there are going to be a lot of Dragon types going to be viable. Swilus, for example, as well as Hakoma are going to be the most common ones. They're going to be very bulky, while Dragon are going to take the spot as the best Say Swap for this meta as a Dragon type. Of course, Vigoroth would be the best Say Swap in general. But yeah, those Pokemon are going to be very common. Otherwise, you're going to have the best Pokemon, of course, here as well, going to be Chansey. You're always going to love to encounter a Chansey, right? In the right matchup, this Pokemon can be deadly. You're going to be able to kind of wall Golbat, kind of wall also all the Ghost-type Pokemon here as well, which is going to be amazing for the Chansey, of course, not really for the opponent. Piloswine, kind of cool, has no access to the move High Horsepower, which is kind of interesting one to take a look at for sure. Otherwise, Charger Bug, pretty bulky here. CDO, very strong. Saw people getting Legend with it the last time this cup was around. Magneton is something you can play. Graveler still good, but honestly, not much more than this. Flight is going to be here as well. There's only one Charm user because you see here already a lot of Dragon-type Pokemon and Dark-type Pokemon that would be good. So there's only one Charm user, sadly. And this Charm user is Brionne, which is not going to be the best Pokemon either because it's not even having the typing for the Fairy typing there. So still definitely a Pokemon that you can use, but let's go into the teams. The first team you're going to be basically a safety first team. You're going to have here the lead of the Vigoroth, which is going to be, of course, the best Pokemon for this meta. We're going to have also the Dragonair, which is going to be very safe in this meta. There's basically nothing that really can counter it, and then we're going to have the Haunter in the back. Having access to the move Ice Punch is very cool for fellow Dragon types, which you're going to be able to definitely hit hard with that, as well as you're going to be able to do some decent damage against something like the Golbat, which you don't really want to encounter as your lead there as well. So basically what you kind of want to do here, try to play out the lead if it's a decent lead for you. Otherwise, you can swap out into your Dragonair. If you encounter, for example, something like the Golbat, you're going to be able to then pressure them with your charge moves, especially if you have a Shadow version of this Pokemon, might be a little bit better. But also you might get out the potential Chansey from the opponent, which would be very decent for you because Chansey would be a hard wall for your Pokemon in the back, the Haunter. So then you can hopefully clear endgame then with the Haunter, which just has a very hard hitting charge moves, which you can hopefully hit them against zero shields when you get rid of them with the spamminess of your both Pokemon above. But yeah, that's going to be it for this team. Let's go into the next one. The second team you're going to be most likely the most common lineup, at least, that you're going to encounter in this cup. If you even want to play this cup, of course, there are going to be other options available at the same time. But yeah, you're going to be able to have here the Golbat in the lead, which is going to be very good against Brionne, which might come in clutch there as well, because Brionne is going to be very decent against all those Dragon-type Pokemon, so you might see that a little bit more commonly. Otherwise, you're going to have the Say Swap again of either the Dragonair or the Vigoroth. Both of them are very safe. Otherwise, in the back, you're going to have the Pokemon that you kind of want to try to set up with it. The Swilus is a very good closer in this meta right now, as well as Hakamo-O. Hakamo-O has a lot of bulk, which is really good for this Dragon-type Pokemon, as well as you can use Machoke in the back, which is going to be a little bit more spicy, but has some punching power as well, which is going to be very decent against all those Vigoroth, as well as against Swilus as well. You're going to be able to hit this for super effective damage. So yeah, that's going to be it for this team. Let's go into the next one. Next team here, we're going to have Floette in the lead. Floette going to be a very cool Pokemon. You need to have it XL though. I have one build, but if you have one build, it might be something that you can actually take a look at as well. Going to be able to resist Counter, which is very decent as it's a Fairy type. Having access to also some Fairy type moves, as well as Psychic, which will be able to hit those Fighting type Pokemon like Machoke, like the Hakamo as well, which even would also get destroyed by any Fairy type move. But also the Golbat, which is going to be very decent, might make this Pokemon very valuable for this meta right now. Otherwise, you're going to have, of course, the Say Swap of either Vigoroth or the Dragonair, but what you can also use is something like another dragon or whatever, like the Swidus as a say-so, but also in the back, which is a really cool Pokemon, is the what's called, not Geodude, the Graveler. Graveler is going to be a very cool Pokemon for this meta as well. Going to be able to hard wall the Golbat, which is the main reason why you want to play this Pokemon. So yeah, that's going to be it for this team. Let's take a look at the next one. Next team here going to be around Metang. I actually used this Pokemon the last time this cup was available and had a great time with this Pokemon, which is kind of funny because you wouldn't really expect this one. Having access to the move Metal Claw going to be not as great, you might think, in this meta, but having access to a Psyshock is also going to be very decent for you because you get there pretty okay-ish fast, even though the Metal Claw is not the best fast move at all. But the main plus benefit for this Pokemon is its typing. It's going to be able to have a great time against something like a Golbat, which now kind of got buffed because it gets a little bit faster to the Shadow Ball thanks to the Wing Attack buff. But you're still going to have a decent time against Golbat there. You're going to have a pretty decent time against most of the Dragon-type Pokemon, as you're going to be able to resist the moves there from those. As well as you're going to be able to completely hard wall the Chansey, which is going to be a very cool one as well. If you're going to get annoyed by Chansey, you can just run this team here, run this lead, run the Say-Sop of the Vigoroth, and just run something like the Swilus in the back, because Swilus is going to be able to double resist the fast move of Chansey. So yeah, this might be something that you can use to beat this one. But yeah, let's take a look at the next team. Next team here, you're going to see there are a lot of Pokemon on the screen. Again, you're going to have your normal Say-Sops there. Like, while it's a little bit lame to have those Pokemon, like, there is literally not a lot that you can do otherwise as a good Say-Sop for this meta. Those two Pokemon are just so insanely safe for this one because, like, yeah, both Vigoroth as well as the Dragonair don't really have the best counters. So in the lead here, we're going to have either the Magneton going to be the one there which you would use if you would use the Say-Sop of Dragonair, plus having the Hakamo-O in the back, because if you think about it, Hakamo-O struggles against something like flying types, something like fairy types, something like the Brayon, and for those we're going to be able to bait those out with our Dragonair, while our lead would completely hardwall those Pokemon, so that's going to be an interesting one there. The other route would be here, of course, to go for either one of those Poison Boys on the right side, and then go ahead and go for Vigorous Say-Swap. Also, of course, Dragonair would work pretty well as well. And then go for the, actually, very cool Pokemon to be fair, the Galarian Linoon. Very, very strong Pokemon. Not underestimate this boy here, because it gets to the Body Slam just so fast. That Body Slam from this Pokemon hits hard as well. Also, again, the Hakamo in the back, or also a Swidus in the back would also work for those teams as well. But yeah, let's go to the next one. Next team is also the Legend team from someone else from, like, I think 3 seasons ago already. But yeah, we're going to have a Dusclops in the lead here, which is going to be a very, very bulky Ghost-type Pokemon, going to be able to go for Ice Punch, which is going to be very good for this meta as well, as we're going to have a ton of the not ghost types, for the dragon types, of course, here available, as well as we're going to have Golbat available, which is definitely not really appreciating the Ice Punch from this Pokemon. You can either use it as a purified or the normal, or also the shadow version of this Pokemon. All of them are fine. We're going to also have as an alternative the Haunter, which is going to be way, way squishier, but also having access to the move Ice Punch might help out quite a bit. Say-Sop, again, the ones that we always have, we don't really have to talk about those, but kinda in the back we're going to have some more spicier Pokemon here with the Celio. If you have this Pokemon already built, this is a very good Pokemon to use here, as the Body Slam spam is real with this Pokemon. Very, very bulky Pokemon, very, very strong Pokemon. As we also have the Pydo Swine in the back there, which is going to have now access to the move High Horsepower, which was different from last time around. Very cool Pokemon to use as well. But yeah, let's go into the final team for this video. Final team going to be around Brayon, which is going to have here the Say-Sop of either Swilus or Dragonair. You can also use Vigoroth, again, whatever you really want to use. I think Dragonair is definitely the best choice, because you kind of struggle otherwise against the lead of Golbat, so Vigoroth might not even be the best play here. But because you struggle against Golbat, or in general against Poison-type Pokemon with your lead here, we're going to have in the back the Geodude, I wanted to say again, but again, still the Graveler, which is going to be able to deal with that pretty easily. So yeah, that's going to be the final team here. If you're really interested in this cup, this might be something that you can run. It's going to be a cup where you're going to encounter the same Pokemon all over again, so if you're not really that interested in this, we're going to also still have available the Great League. I'm going to make another top team video for this later today as well, so stay tuned for that one. Or the Ultra League or the Master League, which we just had as well. So yeah, let me know in the comment section what you're going to run in general, if you're going to play this cup or if you're going to go for the Great League. Otherwise, you're going to see on the screen right now my last video, and as well video for the current meta that's available while I'm recording this video. So it's going to be most likely the what's even currently available, the Spring Cup. So yeah, stay tuned, check those videos out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.